Hey y'all, Choice here. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Here I want to take a moment and talk about belief in a way. They say if you tell a big enough lie or mistruth, if you tell a big enough lie, people will believe it. If the lie just sounds outrageous, those are the lies that people usually believe. So let's go here for a moment. It's not so much that you're believing something. You know, I speak a lot about belief. If they can get you to believe it. If they can get you to believe it, you will adopt it as something, as part of your belief system, and thereby it will dictate some of your decisions and your walks in life. Okay. It's not so much that you're believing it. It's more so that you are forming it. You are participating in the creation of the idea they put forth. So in other words, when you observe something, if you accept it as truth, you then begin to reflect more of that truth, project more of that truth. So how can I say this in a different way? You are creating something in which to believe in. I know. You are participating in the creation of whatever that thing is that you called for so that you can believe in it. In other words, I talk about vibration and frequency and dealing on different realms and so in other words, you have to be at a frequency or at an octave, at a certain level to be able to get a vibration, a frequency, if you will, to attract a certain frequency or to even engage in certain things. You have to be somewhere in that area within that vibrational frequency. When you see something, and here I go again, when you see something they're pushing, like an agenda, those are like seeds. Think in terms of those being thought seeds that then you can cultivate and nurture and grow as your own, in your own garden. Whatever it be, where it be blooming flowers, blossoming flowers, or weeds. You know, some weeds can be very good for you. Many weeds can be very good for you. But whatever it is that you're cultivating, you're nurturing, that begins to grow. It becomes manifested. Didn't exist in your world until you observed it, took it as a thought seed, and nurtured it to be something more than what it was. Okay? So it's not so much that you are believing in something. You are seeing something, and then you are accepting that something as so, and then you are nurturing that something to become so. You are forming that reality that you believe true, because then it becomes a part of you. So it's a thought seed, it's an idea. So when you're watching certain things, a lot of ideas, thought seeds are there. But it's not just what you're watching, it's also things that are coming into you as I spoke about in my other video, there's a lot of information in the ether. There's a lot of information on your frequency band. For example, you ever hear of artists, they tap into a flow state, and suddenly the music and the notes just come just flowing in, and they just have to record what's flowing into them. Well, it's the same thing. They tapped into a band where all types of, the possibilities are within that band, and they're only connecting with these various ideas and thoughts that are there within their frequency band. And with that, they take it and they make it true. As when it comes in, these artists are recording the notes, and then they go and they play these notes and eventually form a symphony of some sort, or create a melody, or some type of rhythm, or you get my point. Or the same thing, someone tapping in and they get a flow of lyrics that comes through, and they just record the lyrics, and the lyrics are coming out of the ether. It's flowing into you, and as it's flowing into you, it's coming out of you, and it comes from the invisible into the visible as you write it or you speak it. Then it becomes into the physical. All is happening in the background, in the spiritual, but the moment you write it or speak it, it comes to be into the physical. So this is what we do with thought seeds. It's really a vibe, a frequency, a wave that's coming in that we believe we are observing. And we observe that thing, we make sense of that thing, what it means to us, and we nurture it, and then it becomes more. It comes into, it's reflected again, it's projected again. It's like a loop, a reflection and a projection, a reflection and a projection. And because this is the loop that's going on, the belief becomes stronger and stronger. And as the belief becomes stronger and stronger, the projection and the reflection continues. It's a back and forth thing. It's like a tango, a dance, if you will. A call and a response. The call and a response. You can shift your focus and kind of like break that cycle. Break the cycle. And then you will then begin to project and reflect and do that loop of something else, So just know, it's more than just believing. It's a thought seed that is planted, that is nurtured and cultivated, and that thought seed becomes manifested. Now this is not for everyone, and it sounds kind of complicated, but it's not. It's really that someone's giving you information for you to strengthen that information. So when people are telling you, giving you misleading information, and they're putting it forth as a reality, and you're watching this reality, believing that you will manifest that reality even if it's not true. Because it's just an idea. So let me give you another example. I was watching something I tell you that, to stay off certain things, but anyway, it was interesting. And it talked about how the farmers were destroying their crops, and people want to get control of the food system and make people dependent on just a few. And so if they can get people to destroy their crops, which they have done in other countries and even in, well, let me not mention any names, but if they can get you to believe that everyone is destroying their crops and their food, and that there's an absolute shortage of food, people will get that thought seed, They'll share that information and it'll spread. And when it spreads, that lie becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. It becomes a really big lie that people feed into, people give energy to. They begin to believe it. And guess what happens? They manifest a shortage of food. They will manifest a shortage of food because they believe the thought seed that was planted. Instead of just saying, no, there's an abundance. Look at nature. The ocean is full with fish. There is no shortage. It's only the idea or the thought or the belief in shortage. But if you just look around you, nature is abundant. You can walk around and pick fruit off trees and find different greens within the earth that you can pull up and eat and so much more, and go to the ocean and find fish that you can eat. I mean, it's just abundant. But if they get you to believe that it's not, you will create the reality that there is lack and that there is not enough food when there is an abundance of it. And keep that in mind. Keep that as the seed that you nurture. Keep that as the belief that you keep, and you maintain it. You etch that in stone, that nature is abundant and you too are nature. It comes through you. They have to get you to believe that there is a shortage so that you will manifest the idea of lack. It has to be done through you, within your mind. So just don't give that any energy, and just know it's misleading. There is an abundance. And if everyone keeps uttering and saying, if there's an abundance, there is plenty, there is more than enough. There is, nature is abundant. I am abundant. There's always plenty for all who choose to partake. There's plenty. Don't shake that narrative. Don't give over that narrative to anything else that anyone else is pushing, if it does not have to do with nature's abundance and love. So, why do they need you to believe? Remember, so that you can manifest the idea that there's not enough, when in fact there's more than enough. Much love, Choice here. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Please pull this message together. Thumbs up and share. Share. Thank you so much. Love you. Thank you so much. Namaste.